G'day all. Trees. Without them life would look very different, and not in a good way. Throughout their lives they have reduced erosion, removed pollutants, been a food source, given shelter, and been a home for supporting countless creatures of all shapes and sizes. Now in death, these selfless acts continue on. A maturing tree, as part of the ageing process, will over time develop all types of cracks, crevices and hollows. It was in one of these hollows, in an old river red gum which had long succumbed to Mother Nature, where a flash of movement caught my eye. I'm sure it wasn't. However, what appeared to be hours of self-doubt, staring into the dark depths of what seemed to be an empty hollow void of life, soon materialised into what would be multiple return trips. As the one flash of movement finally revealed itself. Nankeen Kestrel. At first one, however one soon turned into two, with a pair nesting in the hollow, breathing life back into this once proud and majestic tree. There are some slight differences between the appearance of the male and female Nankeen Kestrel. The main one being the grey cap on the male bird, pictured left, with the female on the right being slightly larger in size and having a more rufous brown cap. These silent little killing machines of the sky are Australia's smallest raptor. Utilising the nest of other birds, or new platforms such as cliff faces, or in this case a hollow, the nesting sites of the Nankeen Kestrel are varied. Laying a clutch of eggs anywhere between 3 and 7. Incubation is done by only the female, with the primary job of the male being to bring food to her. In fact, this process will continue on until the young are close to fledgling. At this time, feeding will be done by both parents. Considerable time was spent travelling back and forth to this location, and considerable time waiting around a tree reluctant to reveal any secrets. With infrequent trips back to the hollow by the Nankeen Kestrels, one's thinking could only drift into the thoughts of the stories this tree and many others around the area could tell. As my visits were weeks apart, there was a noticeable increase in activity, with both parent birds now out hunting, often flying off into the distant rugged landscape. I knew there were some hungry little mouths to feed hidden in the protection of the dead tree, the hollow a porthole into the future only a short distance away. Sitting intently watching, admiring the work ethic of which a new generation relies upon for survival. With stealth, speed, agility, and some amazing eyesight, hunting is done in two ways, as a sit and pounce predator, or by hovering over its unsuspecting prey while in flight, before diving down to snatch it from wherever it thought it was safe. When I first noticed a flash of movement some weeks ago, the male Nankeen Kestrel's visits back to the hollow would be few and far between, disappearing in between visits for lengthy periods. Now both parent birds are sharing the feeding duties, making many trips back and forth to the nest, giving the ideal hint at what would be about to reveal itself next. Knowing all this activity was happening for good reason, the time, patience, and countless kilometres all faded away and seemed insignificant when the dedication and hard work, day in and day out, of these two birds finally made a grand reveal. Chicks. 3 in all. At first shy, but with confidence growing, stepping out into the sunlight, and closer to the edge that will soon lead to a leap of faith, a leap into the real world. However, there is more maturing which needs to happen before this leap of faith is taken. Eyes glued into the distance for a returning parent bird with a meal that will be fought over. And as quick as it can be delivered it is gone, including this unfortunate lizard. Too large to be swallowed whole, it will be torn apart by the beaks of the fledgling Nankeen Kestrels within the confines of the hollow. The ongoing delivery of prized packages relentless in order to feed these demanding little mouths. Now at their fledgling stage, and looking slightly prehistoric as they slowly develop feathers, it won't be long before they leave the nest, so wing strengthening and practicing the art of flying has become routine. After all, it is a long way down. But for now, as they wait for another prize delivery, heat within the hollow is becoming an uncomfortable problem. As the days become warmer, the once safe, dry, warm hollow is becoming almost too warm, with the fledglings regulating their body temperature by panting and holding their wings out from their bodies. A necessary means to keep cool as birds cannot sweat. However, these struggles for the fledgling Nankeen Kestrels are only just beginning. They will soon leave the protection of the hollow, venturing out into all types of weather, and where hunting for food becomes a skill vital for their survival. So unfortunately, this is where I end this amazing encounter with a family of Nankeen Kestrels, heading back to my own reality to leave them to get on with theirs. Hope you enjoyed this encounter. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more nature-based videos. Thanks for watching.